Hello and welcome to the AV Wannabe, a podcast where I introduce my sister to movies she's never seen before. I'll be your host, Brad, and this is my 700-year-old crusading sister, Aubrie.
Welcome to the club.
So today we'll be talking about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Aubrie, what did you think about this movie?
About time.
Yeah?
Oh my God. So much better.
Yeah, so if nobody listened to the other two and you just jumped into this one, welcome. We enjoy more listeners. Aubrie did not like the first and second Indiana Jones films. They were passes, just flyover states, weren't worth it. But this one you like.
I liked this one.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but somebody woke up and was like, oh, okay. Let's do it this way this time. It was so much better. Like the things that I was missing and yearning for in the first two, a lot of it happened this time. I liked it. I wasn't thinking about how long it was. I wasn't tired of it. I stayed engaged. I paid attention most of the time. I think the entire time. I don't think there's any time that I spaced out in this one. Unlike the other ones, I was gone the entire movie because there's anything more interesting going on in my brain than there was in the other two movies. But I liked it.
Everything that you had for critique-wise on the other ones where you're like, more puzzles, more booby traps. They even said booby traps.
They did.
They expanded on it. They made more of it.
Yeah.
The best part about this, you made a joke in the first, I don't know if we actually recorded it, but after we watched the first one, you're like, how does it get better? Do they find the Holy Grail or something? Now, I know you're referencing Monty Python in the Holy Grail because it's your favorite movie.
Yeah.
But when you said it, I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And the second they say, oh, the Holy Grail, you freaked out.
I should have wrote these movies.
No, because one of the trials would have been a holy hand grenade solution.
They're dumb riddles.
On the guy's shield, it would have been ah. You would have been making these nods to freaking Monty Python.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. But yeah, first 10 minutes, great.
Good, yeah.
They're consistent with their first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's one thing I could say about all three of these movies, is that the first 10 minutes are very good. And luckily this one wasn't only good in the first 10 minutes.
It was a flashback.
I liked that a lot. It took me a minute because I was like, wait, the second one was a prequel. Is this a prequel to the prequel?
Just Indiana Jones goes backwards. It doesn't go forward.
I was trying to figure it out. And then when we see this, I don't know if he's an archaeologist or a thief or I don't know what he is. The original hat owner.
Yeah.
We see him and I'm like, oh, that jacket looks different. He got a new jacket this time. And then he turns around and I'm like, oh no, that's not him. And then somebody, I don't know who, is well, I know who now, but at the time they're like, Indiana. I'm like, who the heck? Is this a dream? And then they pan up to the two kids sitting up on this little cave wall, and I'm like, oh, I get it. And it was very fun. It was a very fun opening. I liked this little history of the snakes and everything, how he got the hat and his relationship with his dad opening up to the rest of the movie. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was some great groundwork that they put in.
It was fun. It was fun.
It was fun.
It's you see how he's getting into danger even when he's a kid.
Yeah, and has an appreciation for artifacts and all that jazz.
While we're there, at the end of the movie, they talk about how Indiana is the name of his dog.
Yeah.
That is based in reality. It was George Lucas's dog back in the 1970s.
Aww.
his dog's name was Indiana, which was an Alaskan Malamute.
I was going to ask what kind of dog it was.
Which is the dog that's in that flashback.
I forgot there was a dog in the flashback.
How could you? I could audibly hear you through my noise canceling earphones going, "Oh!" the second there was a dog on screen. Yeah, that's that. I mean, the dog I don't think was alive by the time of this filming,
right?
But that was portrayed by that dog right there.
That's so nice. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
That was very fun. Yeah, it was a fun moment at the end. I just really liked it.
Just like the little dog there.
Oh, it was a good moment.
Yeah.
And then I thought the story made sense in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was like consistent. The pacing was so much better. It just fit.
And there was a lot more problem solving in this.
Yeah.
To where it's like he gets his dad's book and it's given to him in his mail. And it's such a throwaway moment that I even disregarded it, even knowing this movie. Then it's like, oh, he opens it up. He's like, oh, this is my dad's book. It's like, that's still problem solving right there.
Yeah.
Like, he put two pieces together, realizing that they were after his dad, and this object that he had from Italy was from his dad before he even opened it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to Italy, he's solving like, where this, what was it, a grave or whatever?
Uh-huh.
He's solving this grave stuff. Like there's so much more in this movie.
Yeah, no, it was great. I will say that the beginning from the time he figures out what the book is
mm-hmm.
to like him seeing his dad, that all felt a little strange. I think because they just had so much they wanted to get through and it felt like rushed. You could tell it was like heavy, like sticking to the script. Yeah. Like it was like they were trying to hit like checkpoints like quickly.
Yeah.
And so it felt kind of stiff and it felt kind of like, I don't know, not natural.
Well, when they're in Venice,
yeah,
they only had, it was like not even 8 hours to film during the canals.
Uh-huh.
So like the city only gave them a morning and part of the afternoon.
Wow.
That I could imagine them sticking hard to the script. They only they didn't get other days. They just had that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And so when they go into the library, they do a cut to an actual library offsite. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Anything in Venice, they only had a day.
Got it. Okay.
If that.
That definitely like it showed.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't terrible. It was still enjoyable and it was still good.
Yeah.
But you could just tell that section of the movie was paced differently.
Right.
And it had like a different tone kind of in it. It was still good. It wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one thing that I did notice about it.
I kind of noticed it too.
Yeah.
And we're not professionals by any stretch.
No.
But it definitely has a weird feel about it.
Yeah.
And it's probably a bunch of first takes. That's the thing.
Right. Which, well done.
Yeah, pretty good for a few hours to do at least, 20 minutes, if not more.
Well, and it's like, I mean, I've never filmed a movie personally, but from what I hear, it's like you do take after take after take of the same scene.
And but that's not even the worst part. The worst part is you have to get everyone set up before you can even do the take. So it's like you're waiting for like principal to set up the scene, you're waiting for like the set decorators, and then you're waiting for rigging and sound established and lighting, and then once everyone else is ready to go, now it's time for the actors to do their thing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, if the actors mess up or they forget their lines and stuff, like, well, now you got to start all over.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about there could be even more stuff,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I loved the characters in this one. They all meshed really well. They all had like a purpose. We didn't have like any useless throwaway characters like we did in the second one.
Right.
They all were useful and like believable. And then we got 2 people from the first one, which was really exciting for me because I don't know why we have this big franchise, this continuing series, and we're not using any of the same characters except for one, even though we can clearly see there's a timeline here.
Right.
It was like driving me crazy. But now we have those. We're having characters come over, and I thought that was beautiful.
They're all enjoyable characters. Even the comedic relief was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I loved him.
He was great.
Yeah, it's not like cringy. It's not annoying. He was the comedic relief. Exactly what it should have been. Light, but there for them. He's in the moment. He was great.
He felt like he might actually be British, but like he felt like a British actor, kind of like Mr. Magoo or something, where he's like, "Oh, what do you know?"
Yeah, I don't know who Mr. Magoo is.
Well, but it's like when he's like in India and he's like, "Hello, does anybody speak English?"
Yeah, and he's just like talking and nobody can understand him. Nobody cares. And
Sounds out like a sore thumb. Right after Indiana Jones has that whole like, oh, he blends in like a master of disguise.
He's got friends everywhere.
Friends everywhere. And he's like the complete opposite.
I love
And then
it.
the Nazis are like, come with us. He's like, all right. He's not a fighter. He doesn't pretend.
I love it. And then we see our friend, the
Salah.
Salah. We see him from the first movie, and then he pops up, and it's like I got so excited when he like pulled. What's his name?
I think it was like Barry.
They were referring to him by first and
Brody.
last name.
Brody.
Okay, yeah. When he like finds Brody and then they have a little moment and I got so excited.
They essentially have a moment just like in the first film where they're in like a bazaar.
Yeah.
And they're like running away. It's like, here, hide in here. And the Nazis just throw up the trunk or whatever. And it drives away.
And he's like so like he can't even be like upset, but he's like, ugh.
It was such a good moment. Such a funny scene.
It was such a good scene.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved those two characters. They were brought back. They did great. They fit well.
Excellent supporting characters.
Yes, and like this girl, I liked this girl. Like
the Nazi girl?
Yeah.
Elsa.
The
ice princess.
I like that she has this like double cross that I didn't see coming.
A funny double cross.
It's very funny.
She talks in her sleep.
Yeah, and it's very amusing. I didn't love her and Indiana's love relationship.
Well, yeah.
Romantic relationship, but I liked her.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how she was getting excited about like all these clues they were finding, and she didn't care about going through the rats or in the petroleum or anything. I liked that she was just willing to like get in there, and she was useful and not annoying and had like good things to say. I liked what she contributed to it the entire time. I liked her when I thought she was on Indiana's side. I liked her when she turned to the Nazis. I liked her the whole time.
Right.
Oh, she's really good. I like this like struggle you're seeing with her when she's with the Nazis, but you could tell she's not really like
when they're burning the books.
Yeah.
You can see her as a scholar.
Yeah.
Wondering if it's a smart choice.
Yeah, she's conflicted
but she's so fixated on wanting, I don't know what I'm looking for here.
Agreed?
Yeah, she's so fixated on this grail and the things it'll bring with it that she's willing to sacrifice all these other super important things to her.
Yeah.
Is it worth it, you know? And that's a reflection on life, you know?
Yeah. And I like the dad.
Mm-hmm.
I love the dad. I love
Sean Connery.
I love their relationship. Indy and his dad. I love that relationship that they have.
Yeah.
I thought he was funny the entire time. The like disappointment he has on his face when they're like escaping that, what was it, castle or something?
Yeah, it was a castle where they're on the motorcycle.
Yeah, like he's just so like disappointed the entire time. Every time Indy like kills somebody or throws somebody, he's just like very stern.
Yeah.
It's very amusing.
Right.
I love that they both have like this common love, but it's like shown in different ways. I thought it was great. I thought they had a great connection. I really enjoyed watching their relationship. Everything with the dad was funny.
Good chemistry between the two of them.
Yes, that's exactly it. Like they just had good chemistry, and they were able to like riff off of each other.
It almost felt like an actual father and son.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It felt right. It was very well cast. Well done.
He was their first pick too.
Yeah.
I mentioned the last episode we talked where Sean Connery is 007. He's James Bond. It was an inside joke that Indiana Jones is James Bond's kid because these are very James Bond-esque movies.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that they were like thinking more in this movie, like utilizing their brains for once. The scene when they're like trying to find the crypt and they're like, oh, it's 10, and then they're looking for the X, and then he like goes up to the balcony, looks down, and then is like, X marks the spot. National Treasure did that verbatim. Like exact word for word, like same setup, exact same thing.
What was the scene? I don't even remember it.
They were in Indiana Jones?
No, in National Treasure.
National Treasure.
Are you talking about like when they were in the Library of Congress?
Yeah. And they were looking for, I don't remember, it's been so long, but Nicolas Cage was like, they're looking for like an X, and he's like, no, it's a number. And so then they're looking for number 10, and then he like looks down and sees the X and has that X marks the spot line. It's very funny that I keep comparing these to National Treasure, and it's just showing how much National Treasure took from Indiana Jones.
How much it wanted to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah. And it's amusing to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like you see how influential this movie is.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
It just is.
Yeah.
I mean, it inspired so many different things. Tomb Raider.
Oh.
Like those Tomb Raider, the whole franchise wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I guess you could say Indiana Jones wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for James Bond, but...
I've never seen a James Bond movie either.
Oh, I guess I should put some of those on the list.
I know.
That way you can like appreciate Sean Connery when he's younger.
Yeah.
And doing action movies.
I really liked him in this one though.
He's a fantastic actor.
Where is he from?
He's a British lad.
Okay. I couldn't figure, like, I felt like his accent kept changing in this movie.
His accent is weird because I mean,
or maybe that's just the way he talks. I don't know.
I think he's Scottish. I think
that's what it sounded like.
I think he's Scottish, part Irish, and grew up towards England. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not a Sean Connery expert.
It sounded like he was trying to do like an American accent,
right?
But he kept like slipping back into wherever
his Scottish accent. Where he's
like,
oh,
yeah. And so I was like, there was a lot where I was like, is he supposed to sound like that, or is that him? It was
dude, it's his voice. Like we can watch. It's one of my favorite things is Sean Connery and Alex Trebek SNL skit. They did many of them because the first one was super good, and he's just like, oh, Alex, you'll rue the day you double-crossed me. He's like, what double-crossed? This is a game show. He's like, I'll see you in hell, Trebek. It's just like, it's a great thing because it's like his voice. It's kind of like a Patrick Warburton. It's like, it's his voice. It's
hard to replicate.
You can't just be like, oh, that's a Scottish voice.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's
so distinguished.
It's like what's his name? Ratzenberg, the guy that's in every
every Disney animated
Pixar movie.
Oh,
Ham and stuff. It's like it's his voice.
Yeah.
They're so distinguishable.
Yeah.
Like it's not normal.
Right.
It's great.
It was enjoyable. I couldn't figure it out, but nonetheless, I still thought it was entertaining.
Yeah.
So
it's also Sean Connery. He can get away with it.
Yeah. And that's it too. Just like his whole, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking
demeanor?
for? Like his demeanor, his persona is kind of like wacky, but like professional. I don't know. There's so many different adjectives.
Just the way he carries himself. You're willing he just commands it. It's just, you're willing to believe.
Right. And then whoever was on costumes or whatever, by giving him that bucket hat. I love it.
So I didn't include it in my facts, but I read that the person who designed that for him, he was told at the very beginning, like, he's only going to have one costume throughout the whole movie. And so he was like, what did my grandpa wear when I grew up? And he's like a lot of tweed, and his grandpa wear bucket hats, and so he got him a bucket hat, and then he didn't want to give him he wanted him to have thick glasses, but he didn't want him to be rimmed because he was already covering up too much of his face. So he had to make those glasses.
Those are nice glasses.
Yeah.
Those are cool glasses.
He made that. The guy made it himself.
Wow.
So that way you could see more of Sean Connery's face.
Cool.
But yeah, he designed that off of his grandpa.
It was brilliant.
It was great.
I loved it. I love a bucket hat.
It's nice and wacky,
Yeah.
but it was like a plaid professional look.
Right. It was like wacky, but like that wacky you see on somebody that knows what they're doing.
Right.
Like only somebody that knows how to carry themselves can rock that.
Aubrey, you want to get me a bucket hat that you think would work?
Bright yellow.
Really?
No, I don't know.
If you got me a bright, I confidently say I wouldn't have never bought a bright yellow bucket hat. But if you're like, this works, I would wear it.
I don't know if I would necessarily go bright yellow. I think you could definitely rock a bucket hat.
I did read an article about a guy that always wanted to wear bucket hats, but was always afraid of what people would think. And then he eventually got over that and started wearing bucket hats.
I feel that. Yeah, they're kind of, I think they're on trend right now, so it'd be easy to find one.
Things go in and out all the time.
They definitely do. The only thing is, like, I have a problem wearing bucket hats because my head is big and your head's bigger than my head slightly. We're pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be the issue
Right.
because they're generally pretty small,
Are they?
I think.
I don't know. I don't think
I'm not in the market usually for a bucket hat, so I could be
Neither am
wrong.
I just got into flat bills, and I used to hate those.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like things come in and out so often.
they do.
Like, remember Newsboy hats? Like, you even bought me one from Italy when you went.
Oh no, I was gonna say that was when I was in Venice, but it wasn't. It
Oh,
was in Italy though.
It would have been a great
I
carryover.
know.
But yeah, no, I mean, those were in. Now nobody wears those.
Yeah. Or like the people that do are like, they just have that aura.
Yeah.
I think it's that hipster thing. Like a true hipster will still wear them.
But they also have like, they're ensembling.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's not just the hat. It's a whole
They'll wear
outfit.
They'll wear their pea coat on a cold day with a newsboy hat.
There's
with
a
gloves.
bow tie and suspenders.
Right.
Ooh, talking about suspenders. When Indiana Jones gets like stuck on the tank with his suspenders, he wears suspenders and a belt.
Yeah, he does. Double up. You can't risk showing your moon.
You know why?
Why?
Because his pants always look like they're 4 sizes too big.
Although this one, they looked more appropriate.
They looked better, but they're still too big. And the last two, they look like they're gonna fall off of the man.
Although I would say that was kind of like an 80s thing, though.
But not everybody else is, though. Like, you look at all the other characters, and they have trousers that fit them.
And like, I was going to say maybe it was a stunt double thing, but like, the stunt double looks exactly like Harrison Ford.
And then the stunt double gets their own outfit.
Right.
Tailored them so that it looks proper.
Right. But no, these guys, they're eerily similar. Like, their body is almost exactly the same. When I was reading stuff about the Temple of Doom, when Harrison Ford got a herniated disc doing the first scene or whatever, first fight scene he did, where the guy was like choking him.
Oh, yeah.
Got a herniated disc and couldn't do a lot of things, but his stunt double looked exactly like him. So they had his stunt double doing a lot of the scenes he did, and they showed his face and everything because they didn't have to worry about it. Like, normally when you see a stunt double, they try to hide the face and everything. No, they pretty much showed him just exactly like Harrison Ford would do.
Wow.
And a lot of close shots, too, because he looks so similar.
That's cool.
Yeah, like their body looked very similar. Their face looks very, very similar.
The twist is that it's his twin.
I know, right?
Well, that'd be cool. You're an actor, and then your twin is your stunt double. Then you both have a job.
Yeah, it would kind of suck to be the stunt double twin.
Yeah.
Your brother gets all the fame, or sister, or whatever it is.
I don't think it'd work if it was a different gender twins.
I don't know.
Anyway. I did miss Short Round.
Yeah.
I wish he came over.
Right.
Oh, well. I was hoping in the end that we would see this original hat owner again. I was hoping he'd come back somewhere throughout the movie.
You do know who it was, though.
No, I do.
Yeah, it was his mentor.
Oh, the one that always like takes crap from him.
No.
Oh.
In the first film, when Marion? Remember she was talking about how Indiana Jones would always go on adventures with her dad?
Oh, that was her dad?
That's her dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. How'd you know that?
I mean, I look up facts for this podcast.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it was his name was Abner Ravenwood. That's his name, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Carrie.
Right?
From the first to this one. I like that.
That's what they should be doing.
It's exactly right. This was very well done. I think if you got rid of the second one altogether, it'd be great. I don't really have anything else to talk about this one because I liked it. It was good. That's all I could say is it was enjoyable and I'd watch it again.
What do you think about when they were in the temple and he's going through the 3 trials?
Oh yeah, I loved it because he's like, he has to think.
Yeah.
He has to implement that
riddle,
problem solving, like getting through it, like spur of the moment thing.
And he's got to do it quickly because his dad is like bleeding out.
Which I love when somebody gets shot in a movie and then they die instantly. But if like a main character gets shot, then they can last for hours.
Plot armor is a real thing.
Nobody was even like applying pressure. He definitely would have bled out.
They weren't doing good first aid. That's
no,
for
they
sure.
were not.
Yeah, but yeah, it was great because it's like he's talking about what did they refer to the first one, like the prophetic man or something like that? The pestilent man.
I don't know.
Something man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the riddle is like, oh, you have to kneel down.
Yeah.
When the wind comes across.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll lose your head.
And it made so much sense because everyone kept losing their heads.
Yeah, they just kept sending poor guys.
I know. They're like, do another one. It's like, hang on. Nobody wants to like think about why they're getting perfectly lopped off.
Right. Also, this disciple of Jesus, which one was it again? That took the grail and hid it away.
I don't know.
They said somebody.
Did they say it?
They had a name. I can't remember. Whoever Jesus gave this grail to go take care of. And then they go all the way over there. They were masters of engineering or something to set up something that lasted for 2,000 years.
And would keep turning.
Right. Like
maybe the knight had to come like reset it every day.
He's got to maintain it. He's like, oh,
it's one of his jobs.
Gotta replace that rope.
Gotta keep the fires lit. Gotta keep the wheels a turning.
Make sure it kills people on the way in.
Gotta keep that bridge dust free.
Right. That bridge was a fun little like visual.
Oh yeah, I loved this. What do they call those? Illusions.
Yeah.
Very fun illusion.
Yeah.
I liked it because I thought they were going to go with like some like kitsch thing of, oh, it's an invisible bridge.
Right.
Like you really do just have to believe. Like in the first one when the ark like just smites everyone, it's like, oh, it's going to turn into another like religion-filled faith thing. But then it was like, it was an actual bridge. I was like, that's so good.
Yeah. It's just like a total visual illusion. Like the second you could move over to the right, like 5 feet, you could see through it.
Yeah.
But seeing it was such a narrow opening and nothing but cliffside, you couldn't see the trick.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was very good. I liked was there something in between there?
Yeah. He had to spell out Jesus' name
right.
in Latin.
That was funny too when he stepped on the wrong letter.
Dangling.
Yeah. I love this knight that's been in there for 700 years.
Right. Just chilling. The second that he's been waiting for, like his moment, it's finally here.
Purpose.
He's like ready to draw his sword, and then he's like, age is still affecting him?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Or maybe it's just, when you like have been sitting for a very long time, you kind of stiffen up. Maybe he was just a little stiff. And then once he realized he was in no real danger, he was like, you know what? It's all right. You're all right.
Once I limbered up, I came to and didn't see you as a threat.
Yeah.
That was one of the weird things. Shouldn't he still kind of... I mean, it's kind of cool that they showed him aged a bit, even though he's 700 years old.
Yeah.
Still looking pretty dang good.
Yeah.
By the way, I forgot to mention you're looking pretty good for 700 years.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I have a really good skincare routine.
Yeah, you don't even look like you're 23 yet. But
nobody likes you when you're 23.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Shout out to Blink 182. But yeah, that part didn't make too much sense to me, especially seeing it's supposed to be the everlasting youth.
Right.
You know, I would have liked to see like a young boy there, like, greetings, sir.
You're here for the Fountain of Youth.
I've read this book too many times. I don't know why I'm reading it. I have it totally memorized.
Starts reciting it.
Right? I mean, what a boring way to live life.
Yeah.
700 years of life.
He was a servant. He was sworn in. You know, maybe, I mean, he had 2 other brothers. Maybe they were all chilling in there for a while, and then they all just died off slowly.
He said when they start to leave that if they took the Grail beyond that seal, the effects the Grail gives, it becomes null. It doesn't work once it's beyond the temple.
Would that mean that the bullet wound would come back?
Well, it got healed though while it was in the temple.
Okay, so like basically when you're in the temple, you press pause, and then when you step out, you're on play again.
Yeah, but while you press pause, you can fix anything that's wrong.
Cool.
So everlasting life, I guess. I mean, apparently you still age somehow.
What a life.
But you got to stay behind this rock wall forever.
Well, I guess you could come back.
Yeah, I guess you could
like
leave and come
Mother
back.
Gothel it. Just like come back every week,
It's
have
like
a sip, and then you're off again.
It's like
Goodbye, my flower.
It's like he's like a watcher on the wall, just like he goes into town whenever he needs to go do some business, and then comes back.
Yeah, he gets bored. He goes out, has a drink with the lads, comes back to his cup. It's a good life.
Yep, takes a drink before bed, keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
Keeps the age at bay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And that's probably how he got all his followers. Because I was like, how do these guys even know about it?
Yeah.
Because he's been waiting inside that stupid room for 700 years. How do these guys know?
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't even think about that.
You saying that maybe he goes out, goes into town, has a bev, makes some friends, gets some more disciples. They go and offer their lives up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The way I took the disciples is that it was just like, it was just like a cult following.
Yeah, but they were too devoted, I think. Cults are crazy. What am I trying to rationalize that for?
I feel like it could go either way, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like your idea, though, of that he actually leaves. And if he left and somebody saw that, you could easily get some followers who are willing to die for you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're 700 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I did like that moment when they're like getting creamed by the tanks and then the disciples like pop up out of nowhere.
Offering help.
I didn't like when the British came out of nowhere in the last movie, but I liked that the disciples came out of nowhere in this.
Well, they
time.
also set it up more because it's like when the guy was like, I want your Rolls Royce, you see the one guy that we actually know from the what do they call themselves? Like, we'll just call them like the Holy Grail protectors.
Yeah.
Like, we see the one Holy Grail protector that we know of back in Venice. He's there. You see him know that they're going for the Holy Grail.
And he knows what they're going to have because he says you're going to have camels and this and trucks and tanks and everything. So he knows exactly what he's going to have.
And he knows what path they're taking.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we have this one map.
Yeah.
So it's like, so when they pop out, you're like, well, yeah.
Yeah,
he
it
knew.
made sense.
Yeah. It's not like all of a sudden The only one that we had to accept where they just showed up out of nowhere was the one in Venice. And that's fine because we had to establish them somehow.
Yeah. But they also they explained themselves too.
Yeah,
They're
did.
like, we protect the Grail and its secrets. So it made sense that they'd be like watching for people that raised red flags.
That got close.
Yeah.
No, I was totally fine with those guys. Totally accepted them. I feel like they explained them well. They had a purpose.
Yeah.
And then they finished that purpose.
Yeah. But I guess there's no need to protect the Grail anymore, so.
Yeah, the Grail is like
squished
in the earth.
Back to the earth it goes.
Yep, from which it came. What'd you think about the choosing poorly and wisely scene?
I've seen that somewhere. I don't know, because it's been like replicated so many times because it's such a infamous scene.
Well, it was a meme for a while of the knight being like, you chose poorly.
Right. So I don't know if it's like I've actually seen that bit or if I've seen it in like some other movie or show or something where there's all these different grails and you have to like choose the right one, and then the really ugly one is the one that's the real one.
You might have actually seen that actual scene.
I might have.
Because I feel like we might have actually just watched this movie. Because I know that we got them on DVD at one time.
Yeah.
And so you probably had seen this one scene just passing by the TV room or something like that.
Yeah. But I did like it. I mean, I thought it was clever how it was like they tried to make it as accurate as possible. Like it would be a carpenter's cup, not all shiny and pretty, but like something practical, and it looked like it was made.
Something that belonged to a commoner and not a king.
Yeah.
And it's the one that stands out. There's all these fancy cups everywhere. And then there's just this one weirdly molded cup.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that looks like a cup someone who didn't have a lot of money would own.
Yeah, it looked right. And it was not cumbersome to hold.
It was very pretty on the inside, though.
Yeah, that little gold finish on the inside.
Yeah, made it look nicer.
Yeah.
Some artistic liberty.
Yeah, I like that scene. I thought the grill room was pretty. At first I was like, how is that fire still going in there? And then I like see the guy and I'm like, oh, he died there. It's just a skeleton. And then he moves and I'm like, whoa.
So surprise after surprise.
I was like, what's going to happen now?
Oh, he's going to start a fight?
Oh, he did? Oh, he died? Oh, he's alive.
The highs and lows are just happening so quickly.
On a roller coaster.
Yeah. I like the subtle callback to the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, that was funny. It's the Ark of the Covenant. You sure? Yeah.
Pretty sure. It was pretty funny.
It was funny.
Did you catch all the sound nods to like Star Wars in this film?
No.
So John Williams did this one, and I think John Williams is the original composer for Star Wars. There's like a Darth Vader theme is being played at the party when he first goes over to see that stone tablet. It's being played on the piano in the ballroom when the lady is like, come back to the party. That's being straight up played, but there are certain music cues that was just being played in the movie where I was like, that almost sounds like the Stormtrooper death or march or whatever. The Stormtrooper march that we hear.
Yeah.
I feel like we heard that some of those similar tones when we saw the Nazis and stuff.
Oh.
And I would have sworn we heard some more that were but it would like start off like only like a few notes and then it would trail off into something else.
Right.
I think. I'm not sure. I'm not, you know. It sounded very similar.
Aren't the Stormtroopers supposed to be like Nazis?
Well, yeah, the Stormtrooper, all the Empire was inspired from Nazis.
Nice. They really like them Nazis in these Indiana Jones movies.
Dude, they're just such good bad guys.
They are, and you naturally hate them.
And it's kind of almost accurate, too, because it's like the Nazis, when they were taking over Europe, they were pillaging museums and stealing art. And they were hoarding all these historical art collections and whatnot. It makes sense that the Nazis are looking for precious historical items. And Indiana's going to run into them. So it's kind of a cop-out, but it's so right. Like, when they tried not using Nazis, I was like, who cares?
Yeah, you're right. Like, it was something, I don't want to say relatable, but it was like a realistic thing to, like, put your hate in, and it was all believable.
It's such the bad guy. It's like everyone can agree we all hate Nazis.
Yeah.
We don't have to like go through like the moral dilemma of like, but what if the alien race is actually good? No. These are clearly the bad guys.
Yeah.
Speaking about the Nazis, the uniforms that they wore, 100% real Nazi uniform.
Nice.
They found a cache of Nazi uniforms that were...
Oh, they were like actual uniforms.
Actual Nazi uniforms. They were...
Oh, I thought they just like fashioned them after it or something.
No, there was some sort of cache of uniforms that somebody found recently before this was made, and the art director swooped them all up.
Good thing they fit everyone, eh?
I know.
Or maybe it was like, sorry, you don't get the part because you don't fit the costume.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was like, standard issue size. And so they're just like, we need a whole bunch of people that fit in a medium and size 32 pant, or probably 28 pant back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, they were 100% real Nazi uniforms.
It's interesting that they let them use them.
Well, I'm pretty sure it wasn't very hard to get rid of Nazi stuff.
No, I'm not. I mean, like the Air Museum over in Moreno Valley, March Air Force Base, has like Nazi uniforms.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like I'm surprised that like historians didn't want to like preserve them.
Well, they didn't really do anything. Well,
they were like rolling around in the dirt in the tank.
That's
and getting
true.
Holes in them and stuff. Not that I care. I could care less about a Nazi uniform.
Right.
You could pile them all up at the end and burn them, and I'd be like, appropriate. But I don't know. Just
well, maybe they say kept a couple off and only like trashed a handful.
They belong in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
The way he was saying it too, it's just funny, like seeing a kid being like, "That belongs in a museum."
All the way to when he's like 40 years old. That belongs in a museum.
It's funny.
And he almost lost it out at sea.
Good thing he has a good grip.
I know, right?
It's a necklace. Put the dang thing around your neck.
Also, how did that boat blow up from a tidal wave?
I know. Well, something fell.
Well, I mean, there's so much water.
Yeah, but I mean, how does any boat catch on fire then?
I guess that's a point.
I'm assuming like some...
You got me there.
I'm assuming like some like gunpowder or ammunition was the thing that fell and exploded.
All right. Speaking about this gunpowder explosion stuff, when they're in that catacomb and they have that, he said it was petroleum, which is gasoline. And there's all this gasoline that's waist deep.
Yeah.
And the first thing he wants to do, which is a perfectly sealed environment, except for a bunch of rats swimming around in there, is to take a tibia and some cloth and light that on fire.
Yeah, and then... Sorry, go ahead.
Why didn't it just blow up immediately the second he did that?
All the fumes in there.
That's what's going to cause a fire is the gaseous aerosol, gas. Like, not the liquid.
Not the liquid.
The liquid will only burn from the surface, which they showed. But like the second he lit that fire touch with that gas, it should have been there should have been an explosion.
Yeah. Well, and also when they're walking with it, there's like bits of flame like falling off of it.
Yeah.
There's like remnants dropping off of it. And I'm like, how would that not catch instantly? Let's say the gas all escaped somewhere somehow. How would it not hit the top layer and not catch on fire?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like if it hit the layer and then sank immediately, that top layer would still catch fire.
It would.
Like even when I said quickly, I don't even think that's right. I think the fact that it still hit that top layer, it would still ignite that whole top layer.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I know. It bothered me too. It also bothered me how when he like submerged, he opened his eyes. And
I could not do that.
Well, and like is looking around like it's crystal clear water. Like I don't think it's.
I don't know what raw petroleum looks like.
I don't either. But you wouldn't want to open your eyes in it.
No. But I guess if it was life or death, I guess you'd have to put up with the burning sensation on your eye. But like you'd have to wash that out immediately. Like you wouldn't just like, yeah. You know what? You probably. I don't know. I don't want to find out either.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Yeah. I don't know. Like. Yeah. I don't want to even imagine opening your eye with gasoline on it.
I can't.
Ooh.
I can't.
It hurts enough opening your eye in water.
Yeah.
I've never... Dude, all the times we were out in the ocean at NBA, I never once opened my eyes.
Oh my God, you can't.
In the ocean.
It's so painful.
I know some people did it, but like I could not do it.
I remember like wearing contacts and going into the ocean and just remember like it burned so bad. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I did. But it hurts. It hurts so bad to get salt water in your eyes.
Yeah. Salt.
Yeah. Interesting how it doesn't hurt as bad when you're in like chlorine.
Yeah.
Chlorine feels better than the salt water.
But the pressure still feels bad on
the
your
pressure's not great.
But anyway, back to Indiana Jones. Opens his eyes underneath water. Not water. Underneath gasoline.
Yeah.
What a madman. What
a madman.
What a guy. And then his solution is like, take a deep breath. We're getting out. I found an exit.
Where was the exit?
Yeah. Where was this exit?
That's a good point. We were
They had
never
to go
shown this exit.
underneath the ground that looks stable.
Yeah, and then they popped out a manhole.
I think they I don't know. I was going to say, I think they would have better chances just waiting for the fire to go out. But now
They'd be waiting a very long time, though.
But I think the smarter decision would be just to, because it looked like that coffin was floating.
Even though it was made of stone.
Which it shouldn't have, right. The smarter solution then would have been just to take that coffin all the way to the entrance.
Yeah.
And then the second they made it there, then just like I don't know, just like deal with the little bit of burns you'll get at the end there.
Yeah.
Which they would have had to deal with anyway.
But they found an exit.
They found an exit.
I didn't even think about it until you said it, so
yeah.
It was a believable exit.
Yeah. I mean, in the moment.
I want to go to a cafe. I love a little cafe in Venice.
A Venetian cafe? I wouldn't know. I'm a stubborn, ignorant American that's never left no, I guess I've gone to Canada.
You've left. You've been to Mexico, haven't you?
Kind of, technically.
Yeah.
But I don't think a sand dune counts.
Hey, you were on the wrong side of the red marker. That means you're in Mexico.
Shall we move on to some facts, Aubrey?
Yes.
Fact time. This movie came out in 1989. It's a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad year. Old. No, I'm just kidding.
It's 31 years ago. Budget for this film was $48 million.
That's so many dollars. That's like double their last two.
It's yeah, you know what? It's not far off, actually. It's pretty much double what they did the last ones.
It was good.
But it showed.
It showed the quality was great.
So much better.
Yeah.
They made $474 million off this. So they made at least, in the box office at least. So they made at least $100 million more than they did on the other ones. Almost more than that, actually.
That's good.
Almost like $150 million more.
That's
pretty good. It's a lot of buns.
It's a lot of buns.
It's a lot of buns.
Are you saying buns or bunts?
I mean, they're both good.
You know what? You're right.
It's a lot of buns.
Can't go wrong.
The scene when they're in the crypt with all the rats.
Yeah.
2,000 rats were bred for that scene.
Wow, they're movie stars. Born to be stars.
Yeah. They had to breed them because they wanted to ensure that they didn't have any disease.
Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times they almost got stepped on and I felt sad for them.
You know what? I was trying to read about that because I think they might have lost a bunch of those rats.
In Venice. Sorry, Venice. No, I don't think they were actually in Venice.
Not in Venice when they did that. But I think when they shot that, I think they might have like killed some of them.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find much about it. I just know that they insured 1,000 rats.
Well, and also, what do you do with 1,000 rats when you're done with them?
You have to kill them. Or you donate them
to science?
To science labs to experiment on. But you can't
release them.
You shouldn't release those. That'd be so irresponsible.
They are disease-free, though.
They are disease-free rats. I can imagine a couple of them might have been kept as pets.
Or gotten out.
But you just have to cull them.
Yeah.
What else do you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
The second some chickens around here got a little disease, the whole county put out a culling.
The whole state.
Was it the state?
Yeah.
The whole state put out a culling on chickens. For those of you that don't know what a culling is, it's when you just murder chickens because you're afraid of the disease getting out. And so you're just having a mass killing of that animal.
Just because
or person.
It's spreading so bad. That's Newcastle in chickens.
Yeah.
It really messed up a lot of chickens. Yeah.
But yeah, 2,000 rats they had to make for that.
That's a lot of rats.
That's a lot of
I
rats.
wonder who was in charge of that. Like, do you think they set up little honeymoon suites for everybody?
Are you saying that one pair of rats made all those rats?
No, like they had to make multiple honeymoon suites. It's like The Bachelor, where they have like
The
different
Bachelor in
fantasy
Paradise.
suites, and they just mingled.
It would have been a good YouTube series. They could have made money on the front end.
Yeah. I don't know how many rat babies one rat can have, though. So maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it only took like 10 days, and they were like, all right, we got them all. Maybe they're like rabbits.
I don't know. But the role of Elsa, the Nazi girl, it was originally offered to another girl. But when she found out about that rat scene, she turned down the role.
Really? For like animal rights or?
No, she didn't want to be with all those rats.
Oh, it was just gross to her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I mean, I don't blame her because they were up close and personal with those rats. They were crawling on her.
They almost stepped on one.
They almost stepped on him. But at least you could be like, well, they're clean.
Yeah. Being with rats, clean rats specifically.
Yeah.
We used to have pet rats. We had
hamsters.
A pet. No, we had
a rat.
We definitely had a mouse. I think we had, because I knew we had a white mouse, but I thought it was a rat. But thinking about it now, it might have been a brown mouse.
Uh-huh.
But we called it a rat back then.
Is that the one that was like Pikachu or something?
I think that was the white one. But
my hamster was a little brown one, and he was named Smokey.
And he always got out all the time.
Did he?
Even more than the rat I'm talking about.
I was too scared to hold him. I never held him not once.
Yeah, Smokey got out all the time. But the rat, because I remember these two rats that we had. I remember the white one and the brown one. The white one died early.
Uh-huh.
We got the brown one later. Yeah, I just remember the brown one being a very fun-loving animal. Like, it never bit. It never got out of its cage. And when we played with it, it was gentle.
Yeah. The concept of like a rodent doesn't gross me out, and I'm not afraid of them. I don't like when I see like rats around here because I know
it's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
It's a wild animal, not
that's a wild
domesticated pet.
Yeah. And you don't know what that animal's got.
Exactly.
But when you know that they don't have anything, it's different. Like, if I know a rat doesn't have any diseases, it's okay. Because then they're most likely not going to bite you. But if they did, it's because you accidentally hurt them that they bit you. And then that I could deal with.
Yeah.
I don't think a rat bite would be great, but I don't think they'll keep on gnawing on you. I think it's like a defense. Like,
Yeah.
But in that scene, the thing that grossed me out the most was the petroleum water.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff looked nasty.
It did. That's why I don't believe he could open his eyes in it, because like it looked like sooty when he like dipped his hand in it.
Well, that would be on the surface layer. Everything underneath would be.
It's gotta be like dirty. Otherwise, why do they have to like filter it and process it and stuff?
I don't know how gasoline works.
It's natural, so it's gotta be full of like other contaminants.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's full of dead body stuff too.
Yeah, it's full of all that decay and everything.
Spielberg did this movie to fulfill his 3-movie obligation to George Lucas and to atone for the criticism he had from the Temple of Doom.
Thank God.
So apparently the Temple of Doom wasn't received well.
He's like, I can't let people think of me this way.
Yeah, he had to like make up for the last movie.
Good
and he felt a sense of obligation to that.
That's how bad it was. I knew I wasn't crazy. Even Spielberg was like, that's embarrassing. So this next one's got to be so good.
This one's got to be better.
That people forgive number 2.
This movie, George Lucas originally pitched it to Spielberg. He wanted Spielberg to shoot this movie in a haunted house. But Spielberg just finished filming Poltergeist and wanted to do something different.
I don't know what Poltergeist is.
It's a movie, a scary movie.
I wonder how they would have made it in a haunted house.
Well, at this point, when I read that, I was like, why are they just going around Disneyland attractions?
Yeah! They just loved him. He just wanted an excuse to go back to Disneyland and ride the ride.
Right?
He would have put like the bride
in
there, and then... Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't a haunted house, because...
Imagine how much different it would have been.
It would have been very different. It would have, like, also like I feel like these movies are like grounded in like logic. I mean, it obviously goes out of that. But the fact that like Indiana Jones tries to make things make sense and doesn't believe in like mumbo jumbo or different religions and everything, and sort of make it a haunted house, I feel like would have gone down another venture of things he doesn't believe. It would have been so different.
I can't imagine. Well, depending on how they executed it.
Maybe if it was like the movie The Haunted Mansion. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, with Eddie Murphy.
I love that movie.
I was thinking maybe if they made it in a haunted castle.
Yeah, I guess a castle would make sense. I mean, I guess it really wouldn't be that different because...
But it just sounds like we're making a Halloween special for Indiana Jones.
That's exactly it. It's too themed.
Yeah.
Because it's already themed, so you're putting a theme on a theme, and now I'm confused.
Just how many times can you spin this record around?
4. 4 times.
4 times. Well, there's possibly a 5th in the works.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Harrison Ford again.
I mean, that's his favorite series.
Oh, it is?
He hates Star Wars, loves Indiana Jones.
I liked watching Harrison Ford age in these. Gets a little bit older every time.
The miracle of life. So you probably know this already, but that temple is a real temple.
Yeah, I remember it from Idiot Abroad.
Yeah, that's what. That's why I was like, you probably already know this.
It's a wonder.
This is more for everyone listening. It's a real temple in Jordan, in the area called Petra.
Yeah.
It's totally real, although the inside is just a big square room.
Interesting. I've always wondered if you can go inside. I thought it was a facade.
It looks kind of fake.
Yeah. Like it just looks like, those like, kind of like Mount Rushmore.
Right.
Where they just like carve into a mountain just to make something pretty.
Right.
That's what I always assumed it was. But then after watching this, I'm like, I wonder if you can go inside and if it is like a palace or anything.
Just
It'd be very dark.
Big empty box room. I think
like
they
that.
have kind of like a seating ledge on all around it.
Uh-huh.
It's impressive what they made on the outside.
It's gorgeous.
And how old it is. It's kind of weird that there's nothing on the inside.
So Bradley, would you rather live in that square room and look out, or would you rather live across the street in a crappy cave and be able to look at it every day?
I'd like to live across the street in the crappy cave to look at it.
And then you could sit there and wonder at the wonder.
It's very deep thinking right there from Carl Pilkington.
I loved that. He had a great point.
He did. It made you think about it.
Yeah. Perspective.
But because of this movie, that place got so much more foot traffic.
Yeah.
They used to see maybe a couple thousand visitors a year.
What? That's it?
Yeah, that was it. The second this movie came out, it skyrocketed.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know it was in Indiana Jones. And I knew about it before, and I always thought it'd be a really cool place to visit.
Nobody knew about it before, really.
That'd be so cool to be one of those people that like knew about it. And imagine you like visit it every year, and you're like, oh, I love coming here because it's so peaceful, so pretty. Nobody's ever here. And then you go back the next year, and then there's 10,000 people, and you're like, where the heck did you guys come from?
What changed? What did I miss?
Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
But
breathtaking.
It is kind of funny how it almost seems fake.
It does. Yeah. Because it's so perfect.
And it's like so clearly cookie cuttered out of it.
Yeah.
But it's 1,000% real. That's all my facts right now. I mean, like with all the other Indiana Jones movies, if you want to know more facts, there's like hundreds. I just took a couple that I thought were fun and interesting. Now that you've seen the original trilogy of Indiana Jones, what were your thoughts about it?
I didn't really like the first one. I hated the second one. I loved this one. So I guess it like evens out to like okay as a whole. That second one is really bringing down the score here.
It's really anchoring this boat.
It was very bad. I really enjoyed this last one. The first one, I was like on the fence. I'm still on the fence because I didn't like it when we finished it. But then like seeing the second one made me like it more. And then the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, oh, I guess I do like the first one. I like aspects of it. As a whole, I think it's okay. I think you could definitely skip the second one altogether. It didn't bring anything. Not a thing.
Yeah, especially that it's a prequel.
Yeah, just skip it. Just do 1 and 3. And I think I would give that a great rating.
We're going to be watching Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull next. Hopefully y'all will join us hopefully y'all will join us for that next week. Having a hard time.
Got it.
Having a hard time getting through this for some reason.